If you're a man over 40 looking for the best weight loss plan actually built for your body, your hormones, and your schedule, you're in exactly the right place. If you've been consistent and still not seeing results, that's not an age problem, that's a system mismatch. Most plans give you a diet and a workout and tell you to grind. At 40 plus, that doesn't just plateau, it reverses. What works is a progression. 3 pillars, 3 phases built for your body. I know this because I've spent 25 years proving it. Since 2001, I've helped over 5,000 high-performing professionals, men exactly where you are now, re-engineer their physiques and their health, like Brian, a 57-year-old business owner who lost 54 pounds and, working with his doctor, eliminated his diabetes and blood pressure medications while reporting a massive boost in energy and productivity, all with just 3 hours of effort per week. Or Brad, a 65-year-old retired engineering exec who went from 21% to 12% body fat in just 90 days while training less, eating more, traveling, and actually improving his golf game. I've spent over 2 decades refining this system so I can stay lean, high energy, and mentally sharp for my business year-round without it ever becoming a second full-time job. Here's what the Lifestyle Recalibration System covers today. First, the Precision Signal Protocol, why most men over 40 are wasting the majority of their gym time and how fixing that changes everything. Second, the Metabolic Reversal Protocol, how your nutrition evolves across 3 phases from aggressive reset to the most powerful metabolic engine you've ever had. And third, Lifestyle Recalibration, how your environment and your habits get engineered so the system runs permanently without your attention. Let's get into it. Picture this. You're in the gym, 3rd set of dumbbell curls, up, down, up, down. You feel a burn. You log it. Box checked. You've done this for months, maybe years. And structurally, you look almost identical to when you started. I call this the difference between a monkey and a mechanic. Most men, even experienced lifters, are training like monkeys. The Precision Signal Protocol is the first pillar of the Lifestyle Recalibration System. It's not a workout program. It's a progression of skill across 3 phases. And it completely changes what's possible from 2 sessions a week. I've trained NFL players, men whose entire career depends on their physical output. I've had those men fail to complete a single properly executed set, not because they weren't strong, because they never learned to contract a target muscle under load without momentum bailing them out. If professional athletes are training like this, what does that mean for the executive who's been going 3 days a week for 5 years and wondering why nothing is changing? The fitness industry assumes that if you show someone an exercise, they'll automatically stimulate the right muscle. No one verifies this. No program accounts for this. The spreadsheet tracks weight and reps and calls it proof. But if you can't contract a muscle without weight, adding weight doesn't fix that. It just loads the joint. If you've been consistent and your physique isn't showing it, the effort is real, the signal isn't. Phase 1 is skill acquisition. Every exercise is treated as a skill, not a task. Body positioning is engineered to align resistance against the target muscle. Momentum is removed. The only variation in each rep is the involuntary deceleration as you approach failure. That's the muscle fatiguing under real tension, not the joint absorbing a swing. I've had bodybuilding competitors come through phase 1 and call it the hardest training of their lives because they've never isolated a muscle under full controlled tension before. The weight is lighter. The stimulus is completely different. Think about learning to type. Mashing keys produces words. Proper technique produces speed, accuracy, and no strain. One plateaus, the other compounds. Most men have been mashing keys in the gym for years. Phase 2 is verification. I call it the effective rep mandate. We shift from learning the signal to confirming it. I review execution footage for every client to verify their training to 1 to 2 reps in reserve, not estimated, verified. When men plateau here, the industry says add more sets, more days, more volume. For men over 40, that produces CNS fatigue, central nervous system overload. You wake up more tired than when you went to bed. Cognitive sharpness drops. Stress tolerance collapses. You perform worse in the boardroom because your body is burning recovery resources on effort that produced no signal. More reps of a bad signal isn't progress, it's compounded noise. With verified execution and a double progression protocol, you progress infinitely without plateaus or injury. Brad built more muscle at 65 than he did at 40, not because he trained more, because every rep finally counted. Phase 3 is minimum effective dose, 2 full body sessions per week, not because you've earned a rest, because the muscle you've built only needs a maintenance signal. and that requires far less than building did. 2 verified sessions protect everything you build in phase 2 while returning hours to your week. Clients in phase 3 train less than they did in college and are in the best shape of their lives. Have you ever left the gym not sure if you did enough? That uncertainty disappears when the signal is clean. Brian, a 40-year-old engineering firm owner, doubled his strength and muscle gains training under 3 hours per week, went from classified obese to elite physique markers. His kids saw what happened and started training on their own. That's not a volume story, that's a signal story. But the signal only matters if the fuel is right. The precision signal protocol running on the wrong nutrition architecture is like a high-performance engine on the wrong fuel. And the way the metabolic reversal protocol works across 3 phases is where most men leave everything on the table. Sunday night, meal prepping, chicken, rice, broccoli. 3 weeks in a deficit, discipline, consistent. Monday morning, scale goes up a pound. You've been here, that confusion, that quiet thought that maybe your body just doesn't work like it used to. That moment has a name, and it's not genetics. The metabolic reversal protocol is the second pillar of the lifestyle recalibration system. It doesn't just change what you eat, it changes the job nutrition is doing at each phase. The protocol evolves 3 times, and each evolution does something the last one couldn't. In 2017, I had surgery, off the floor for months. Business pressure was through the roof. When I came back, I'd put on over 40 pounds. I was 41. I did what I'd always done, cut calories hard, got back to training, waited for my body to respond. Instead, fatigue I couldn't explain, weight that wouldn't move, tingling in my hands, constant thirst, slow healing cuts, pre-diabetic markers. I was cutting calories and gaining weight. I was doing the thing, and the thing was destroying my metabolism. A standard calorie deficit does something very specific to a 40-plus body. Within 21 days, your metabolism downregulates to match your intake. Then, to protect itself, it burns muscle, not fat, for fuel. You lose weight, wrong tissue. You end the diet lighter, softer, with a lower metabolism than when you started. The industry calls this a plateau. What it actually is, your body successfully adapting to survive with what you're doing to it. The conventional response is to cut more, which accelerates the crash. If you've run a deficit and stalled, your body isn't failing, it's winning a war you didn't know you were fighting. Phase 1 is metabolic recalibration. The goal is flipping the switch from storage mode to oxidation mode. Most men over 40 carry what I call invisible weight, 15 to 20 pounds of inflammation and water retention held in place by elevated cortisol. You can't see it, but it's making every other effort harder. The old approach, the slow bleed deficit, cuts 300 to 500 calories and asks you to be patient. It demands the most restriction at the point of lowest motivation. That's when men quit. The metabolic reversal protocol front loads the deficit on day 1 when motivation peaks, using a protein-sparing modified fast. High protein protects muscle. The deficit is maximum. The result is 8 to 12 pounds of real change in the first 14 days. You prove the system works before your willpower has a chance to run out. Think about a new business quarter. You don't pace yourself into momentum. You hit hard on day 1. Same logic. Phase 2 is hypertrophic optimization. And here's what no mainstream program does. It starts adding calories back. As body fat drops and insulin sensitivity peaks, we reintroduce carbohydrates systematically. We call this carb titration. You earn your fuel back based on what your body can now handle. The result is energy flux, eating more food, getting leaner, not a cheat day, the architecture of the phase. Chronic low calories crash testosterone and suppress thyroid output, the 2 hormones most critical for body composition after 40. A permanent deficit doesn't make you lean, it makes you soft, hormonal, and perpetually hungry. Brad doubled his strength while increasing his food intake, trained less, ate more, got leaner. That's not a paradox. That's phase 2 working correctly. Phase 3 is metabolic refinement, the phase no program plans for, which is why 95% of men regain everything within 6 months of finishing a diet. The conventional model ends at maintenance. Stop the diet, hope for the best. A metabolism that's been chronically restricted stores every calorie the moment intake goes back up. That rebound isn't a discipline failure. It's a predictable physiological response to years of restriction without rebuilding. Phase 3 finds the highest number of calories you can consume while maintaining your physique, not the lowest safe threshold, the highest sustainable floor, because phase 2 installed a bigger engine. More muscles burn more calories at rest. The more lean mass you carry, the more you can eat. Brian, 57-year-old business owner, ate pizza weekly throughout his transformation. Not a cheat, phase 3 architecture. He lost 53.6 pounds. His HbA1c, His blood sugar marker dropped from 7.6% fully diabetic to 5.3% non-diabetic in 14 weeks. Working with his doctor, he eliminated his blood pressure medication and nearly all his diabetes medication. He's not on a diet. He rebuilt the engine. Have you ever finished a diet and immediately worried about what happened when it ended? That anxiety means there was no phase 3, no plan for permanence. The Metabolic Reversal Protocol is the plan. Now, both protocols can be perfect, and one unmanaged variable in your environment silently undoes both. The third pillar is what makes everything stick. But before I get there, take my free quiz in the description, 2 minutes. It shows you exactly which pillar is your biggest gap and what phase of work you're in. Most people see their blind spot immediately. Link is below. Take it before you finish this video. It's 6:45 p.m. You've made somewhere between 35,000 and 50,000 micro decisions today. That's not an exaggeration. That's the research. Back-to-back meetings, you close something, you put out a fire, and now you're at a business dinner with a client, an open breadbasket, a wine list, and you're trying to willpower your way through it. That moment is where most fitness plans die. Not because you lack discipline, because the plan was designed by someone who doesn't understand what your day cost you. Lifestyle recalibration is the third pillar. Across 3 phases, it does something no diet or workout attempts. It engineers your environment, your biology, and your social life so the right outcome happens automatically. Greg came to me after a medical warning about his life expectancy. 51, hotel owner, high-stress business, ate at restaurants the way most people eat at home, never exercised consistently, blood pressure dangerously elevated. I didn't ask him to find more discipline. We engineered his environment instead, audited his pantry, built a travel protocol, specific pre-decided choices for airports, hotel gyms, steakhouses. So by 6:45 p.m., the decision was already made. Nothing to fight, nothing to white knuckle. 16 weeks later, 30 pounds gone, blood pressure down 40 points, while traveling, while hosting, while running a high-pressure business. He didn't find more willpower. He made willpower unnecessary. If you do well all week and unravel every weekend, the plan isn't the problem. The infrastructure is. Phase 1 is environmental engineering. Audit and redesign your defaults. Pantry, workspace, morning routine, travel kit. Make the right choice the path of least resistance so it doesn't require a decision. Phase 1 also addresses 2 variables the industry ignores: cortisol and sleep. Elevated cortisol, the primary stress hormone for executives, triggers fat storage in the midsection as a primary response, not a side effect. A man with unmanaged stress load is actively storing fat regardless of how well he eats or trains. Poor sleep disrupts ghrelin and leptin, the hormones controlling hunger and fullness. When those are off, you're biologically hungrier. Satiety signals are blunted and cravings for high sugar, high fat food spike. You cannot out-discipline broken hunger signaling. It's a physiological override. The old approach, the willpower myth, uses high-impact cardio to burn off bad choices and grit-based eating to white-knuckle every meal. That approach spikes cortisol. It's an engine running against itself. Phase 2 is social architecture. This is where most programs fail executives, because phase 2 is where real life shows up hardest. The conventional diet turns you into what I call the social recluse. You skip professional dinners, decline the client event, avoid the situation because the plan can't survive it. You miss deals made over dinner and relationships built at the table. Phase 2 builds social architecture protocols instead, pre-engineered blueprints for the scenarios that define your life. The steakhouse, the board dinner, the airport, the hotel minibar. Not rules for what to avoid, decision trees for exactly what to do so you're fully present, professionally sharp, and wake up leaner. Brian ate pizza weekly throughout his entire transformation, built into the plan, designed around his real life, not against it. Phase 3 is automated identity. The goal isn't better habits, it's eliminating the need to manage habits. The stress protocols, sleep engineering, environmental defaults, and social blueprints are no longer things you do. They're who you are. The system runs without your attention. I call the result executive freedom. Your cognitive bandwidth, the resource that runs your business and your family, is fully reclaimed. Fitness is happening in the background. Just imagine a real vacation, not one where you try to stay on track, one where you enjoy the food, have the drinks, miss your workouts, and come home the same weight or lighter. That's phase 3. Have you ever felt like fitness was a second job competing with your business for time and mental energy? That's a signal phase 3 hasn't been built. The goal isn't to make fitness easier, it's to make it disappear into your life. 3 pillars, 3 phases, not a plan, a progression. You came here looking for the best weight loss plan for men over 40. You're leaving with something more useful. The Lifestyle Recalibration System is a progression. The Precision Signal Protocol starts as skill acquisition, becomes verified intensity that produces infinite injury-free progression, lands at 2 sessions a week that protect everything you've built. The Metabolic Reversal Protocol starts as an aggressive front-loaded reset, evolves into carb titration that adds fuel as you build, ends at the highest caloric floor your rebuilt engine can't sustain permanently. Lifestyle recalibration starts as environmental engineering, evolves into social architecture that lets you close deals and eat pizza without consequence, becomes automated identity, the system running without your attention permanently. 3 pillars, 3 phases, 1 system. If you're ready to implement this with my help, the link in the description takes you to the waitlist application. This program is not for everyone. It's specifically designed for high-performing men over 40 who are done running static plans against a dynamic body. If that's you, the application is in the description. And if you want to hear what this actually looks like from someone who's been through it, I sat down with Brad, 65 years old, retired engineering executive, went from 21% to 12% body fat in 90 days. He talks about where he was before, what made this different from everything he tried, and why he decided to work with me. That conversation is right here. I'll see you in it.